Boys, it's Chinned. We got a big one coming up. Obviously, people are shit talking this card. Um, I think entertainment wise, it's actually pretty damn good. If you ask me, I'm pretty excited for some of these fights. I'm a really, really big RDR fan. So I'm alright with the co-main, even though I would have appreciated, some sort of title fight. But, you know, that's fine. Yeah, this is a big one for me. Charles and Max to me is one of the biggest, most anticipated fights of the year. Fight wise, entertainment wise, it's about as good as you can get. It's about as entertaining as you can get all time. This could be an all time war if it goes to a decision. I don't think it will, but enough of that. I'll get to that later. Starting with the prelims, Luke Fernandez versus Adolfo Bellato. I will be picking Luke Fernandez by KO. Bellato's a can. Luke Fernandez, he's fucking great. He's a great fighter. I don't know who this guy is. I'm picking Luke Fernandez by round 1 KO. I don't know who he is. Um, Korean Tiger. This guy's fun. So he just got I don't want to say fraud checked, but he just got thoroughly beaten down by Willie Cat Santos. But Bolaños is a massive step down. He's a bit of a can. He's one of those, he's got a really weird style. Really ugly record. Just not someone I would ever want to pick to win a fight. I'm picking Jung Young Lee, probably by knockout. Moving on. Knockout round 2. Moving on. Fucking DR Nurgajai, man. I bet on this motherfucker to beat Brendason Ribeiro, I believe it was, last year. Yeah. And Nurgajai has him on the ground, and Ribeiro throws up the Kimura trap that he's trying to sweep with. The same Kimura sweep that everybody tries to set up. He pulls the sweep off and actually gets the Kimura. That never fucking happens. Dude, this guy looks like a fucking finger, man. What is going on here? And he got fucking plowed by Salty Baldiev. This guy is a fucking bum. And he's fighting Bipolar Tobias, man. Fuck do you guys know about Bipolar Tobias? Let me put you guys on. Round 1, knockout. Bipolar Tobias. Look at this motherfucker. He's so tough. This guy's fucking terrifying, by the way. Yeah, I'm picking round 1 finish. I don't know. It's pretty ambiguous. I'll say knockout. For Bipolar Tobias. Moving on. This one's an alright fight. Jesus Aguilar versus Sumidarji. Jesus Aguilar is to me, one of the more underrated flyweights on the roster. Not because I think he's anything fucking nuts, but he has an impressive record in the UFC. He has a couple impressive wins in the UFC. Sumu Darji, a couple years ago, he went on that bad losing streak. Now he's kind of back up after last year. And, even though in the last fight he kind of looked good, he's piecing up his opponent. I don't know. He's just not somebody that screams pick me, I'm gonna fucking win a fight. I don't think he's gonna win this fight. I could just see Jesus Aguilar piecing him up at range. The same way Sumidarji always loses. Maybe he's a little gun shy. He gets staggered a lot in his fights. I could see Aguilar just, controlling him from the outside, taking him down. I'm picking Aguilar by decision. Moving on to Art of KO. Art of KO, I think, is going to TKO Cody Durden late round 2, early round 3. Cody Durden's just, he's the ultimate fucking can of this division. He fights every 2 weeks, it feels like. This guy's always fighting. He's fun. I'll give Durden his flowers. He's a pretty damn exciting fighter. He always goes in there. He's a finish or get finished fighter, but he's nothing crazy. He's nothing crazy. I'm picking Art of KO, late round 2, early round 3, TKO. I'm picking a lot of TKOs here, but I mean, some of these fighters are very finishable. Next, we got Pretty Ricky Tercios. Let me tell you guys about Pretty Ricky Tercios. I'm such a big Ricky Tercios glazer. I have a signed poster of this motherfucker from when he debuted. When he was fighting... Who was it? that fucking Cody dude, off of Tough when he won the Ultimate Fighter. I fucking love this guy. Biggest Ricky Tercios fan in the world right here. The only Ricky Tercios fan in the world, it feels like. He's fun, man. He's fun. He's got one of the more underrated like libraries of fights. Go back and watch him. It's all bangers, all fight of the year contenders. Like, he's super, super fun. Alberto Montes, on the other hand, I think has some cardio problems throughout his career. You know, he tends to slow down late. He's just he's a very average fighter for 10-1. You'd think he's much better, but skill wise he doesn't show so much. I think Ricky's gonna take him down, you know, several times throughout the fight and just drown him. Classic Ricky Tercios performance. Big volume, just cardio mog, like 30-27 or 29-28 decision. I'm pretty confident in that. I'm surprised he's an underdog, but yeah, I hope he wins anyway, because if he loses, oh fuck, man, he's gonna get cut. That's gonna suck. Moving on to the next fight. Like, man, what the fuck? What am I supposed to say, bro? Yo, Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage, underrated fighter, bro. He's gonna come in. He's gonna fucking assert dominance on Dante Johnson, bro. Man, get out of here, bro. It's Dante Johnson round 1 fucking flatline KO. Or Cody Brundage is gonna... Cody Brundage is low-key like new Anthony Smith. Like, Cody Brundage is like low-key new Anthony Smith. He'll curl up and just fucking... just give up. He'll curl up in fights often and just get TKO'd and fucking... he'll turn into a little armadillo like fucking Anthony Smith, dude. It's so fucking funny. Cody Garbrandt versus Long Xiao is the prelim main event. Not a great prelim main event, but it's a prelim main event. I'm picking Cody Garbrandt by... I'm going to say decision. I can see him knocking out Long Xiao. Long Xiao's pretty fucking fun, man. He was on the UFC China card, I believe, in his last fight, and he was just winging elbows. Like, he was literally just throwing elbows out for 3 minutes straight, yeah. This was, I believe, yeah. Chinese card. He is so fucking fun to watch, but he's just not that great. And I'm pretty sure he's got a completely padded record. I mean, oh my god, yeah. So he was 9-7 at some point. I believe, yeah. 9-7 at some point. What is this shit, bro? Dude. Dude. He's winning fights and I am a champion, bro. What the fuck is this? Bro, come on. Come on, man. Dude. Come on, dude. You can't fucking convince me that this guy's gonna beat former champ Cody Garbrandt, man. Come on. He's fighting an I am champion. Dude, what the fuck is that? I'm sorry, man. Long Xiao, he's just not equipped to beat a guy like Garbrandt. And he's got big holes in his defense. I will say, you know, if you look at a lot of Asian fighters historically, at least recently, Ryzen and One and the way that they, you know, promote their fighters and their fights and the way that they score their fights, you'll see that these guys kind of just ditch defense altogether. They're full offense fighters with crazy chins. But oftentimes, you know, against the best of the power punchers like Cody Garbrandt, those chins won't hold up. Look at people like Kai Asakura, Mikuru Asakura and Ryzen, if anybody's familiar. Like, these types of guys, these Asian fighters, they have a completely different brand of fighting. I think Long Xiao is going to go in balls to the wall against Cody Garbrandt and try and KO him with his crazy elbow style and try and pressure him. And Cody's going to be too fast for him. And he's probably going to get clipped or dropped a couple times in this fight. I see Cody winning a 29-28 fight, but the 2 rounds that he wins are very dominant, and maybe the round that he loses is a pretty close one because he takes some time to get going, Cody, sometimes. And, you know, he'll probably use some of his grappling, some of his wrestling. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in Cody here. I don't think Long Xiao's anything crazy, and I think Cody's still got a few more wins left in him, especially against competition as low level as Xiao, in my opinion. I guess Xiao could always catch him, but I don't know. I'm picking Garbrandt by decision. Moving on to the main card now. This is a good fight. This is a really good fight. My boy Obama, top 5. I need to make a video of the most must-watch fighters in the UFC at the moment, because Obama is absolutely in the top 3 or 4 there. He's so fucking fun to watch. He'll flatline you or he'll get flatlined. Every once in a while he turns in a stinker like against CLD. But you kind of need to do that. CLD is extremely dangerous. Look at the run that he's on. That win has aged so well. Bruno Ferreira, on the other hand, is a KO beast who's kind of employed a more like stoic style, decision-based style recently. But he flatlined Obama on about a week's notice in their last fight. And that was Obama on the best run of his career at the time. It was a big upset. Man, this is a tough one because Obama will get hit by big shots and sure, he'll eat them, but he doesn't wear them well. Like he takes a lot of damage. It shows on his face and he'll get staggered a lot. Like he really does get hurt and wobbled a lot. And when it's too much, he goes out cold. Like he's chinny, but in a weird way, He's chinny, like, but he won't go out completely a lot of the time. But if you really overload him with power, he's just gonna fucking flop on his face. Oh, he's one of my favorite fighters. I don't want to pick against him, man, but I just have a feeling about Bruno Ferreira. Bruno's on a hell of a run, but he's not all that durable himself. I mean, he got folded by Ruzaboyev by a kick to the body. I'd say Rodriguez, grapples Ferreira and probably ekes out a decision or maybe finds a finish on the ground. But Ferreira's got good grappling too. The thing about these two fighters that I'm failing to mention is the cardio advantage. Like the real one big advantage between these two guys is Obama definitely has a cardio advantage. And with Bruno Ferreira's like recent wrestling based style and kind of like lull you away, false sense of security, and he'll take you down. I think Obama might just out cardio him and get a late KO. Or, maybe he'll take him down and just smother him to a decision. I've kind of just talked myself into it. But the more I think about this fight, the more I think Obama's going to make the right adjustments. I could be wrong. I'm not confident in this one. But I'm talking to myself into it. I think Obama's going to take this one. The head is dangerous. Yeah, but I'm picking Obama by late finish. Late KO, I want to say. Because submitting Ferreira is tough. Late KO by Obama. Moving on. We got the fucking mascot, boys. We got the fucking mascot of the channel. Drew Dober. The Chin. Versus Michael Johnson. Now, I've heard a lot of very bizarre takes on this fight pertaining to Johnson's win over Zellhuber, and then you go to the Mexico card. Like, so if Zellhuber's really not that good, why are we saying that Johnson's going to smoke Dober now because Johnson just beat Zellhuber? If that's really not a good win to have, Drew Dober should be beating Michael Johnson. To me, I think this is a no-brainer. I'm very confident that Drew Dober KOs Johnson against the fence. The thing that I worry about, of course, is Dober has a susceptibility to straight punches he showed in the Manuel Torres fight. And Michael Johnson obviously has the fastest 1-2s that a 40-year-old's ever had. And he's kind of like a Loner Kavanaugh type almost, except he keeps his hands up a bit more. He's just fast. He's very, very quick for a 40-year-old. He's a swift striker. He's going to go in and snipe you with some big 1-2s. But he'll leave himself open every once in a while, and that's when he gets caught. And his chin is just not equipped to take a big Drew Dober right hook. It's not. And Drew Dober's chin is equipped to take a big straight 1-2 by Michael Johnson a few times. I believe that. Michael Johnson's no Manuel Torres, man. He's not. He's a 40-year-old washed vet. And while he maintains the speed, he can't brawl. And Drew Dober's going to turn this one into a brawl. Maybe in the first round, Drew's pressuring him big time, and Johnson's maintaining his distance, and he snipes him with a 1-2, and he gets dropped. He takes a knee. But he's going to get up Dober, and he's going to keep pressuring him, and he might even throw in a takedown. And then in round 2 or 3, he's just going to pressure Johnson. He's going to finally get him up against the fence, kind of like the Bobby Green fight when Drew Dober knocked out Bobby Green. He's going to push Johnson up against the fence, and he's just going to start fucking blitzing him with lefts and rights. And he's going to catch Johnson on the chin and put him out cold is what I think is going to happen. The mascot's getting a fucking win, boys. Moving on, Rob Font Hall Rosas Jr. This is an interesting fight to me. Um, I don't think this should be on the main card. Like, if you want to talk about the main card being weak, it's this and the Drew Dober fight should be like at the top of the prelims, and then maybe you add a couple more ranked fights. But regardless, it is what it is. We'll take what we can get at this point. This is an interesting one. Interesting matchup for sure. Classic striker versus grappler. Hall Rosas just doesn't have the takedowns, though, you know? He's not like a great wrestler. But the thing is, he's showing improvement in every fight, and so he's taken a bit of time off now. And there's always you can assume he's going to be better, at least from a wrestling standpoint, because that's obviously where most of the holes are in his game. He's got a great submission game. I think if he could hold Rob Font down at will, I think he could find the submission. Font, on the other hand, he's getting old. He's almost 39, and he's been on the bad end of some fights lately. He's one of the more unfinishable guys on the roster. I know he has one finish loss. He got submitted by Pedro Munoz in 2018, was it? 2019? It was pre-COVID. But besides that, he's been virtually unfinishable, unless you want to count his David Martinez fight, where he got finished after the bell. This is a tough one, because I don't think that Hall Rosas should be a minus 225 favorite. I don't. But at the same time, I don't think Rob Font is a reliable person to pick. He's a very 50-50 fighter. He's almost like, I want to say he's almost like the Joff Neal of the division. Like, one day he'll show up and he'll be a world beater, and you'll be like, how the fuck was this guy an underdog? And then the next day he'll show up and he'll be like, oh, yep, I saw that coming. And he'll just have a poor performance. There's a 17-year age gap, though. Hall Rosas is almost half his age. He doesn't have the power, the pop in his punches, Hall Rosas, but Font, Font used to have one of the best jabs in the UFC when he was coming up. He hasn't really shown that lately, man. He really hasn't shown it lately. This is a really tough one. I'm going to pick Hall Rosas by decision. I can see him catching up with a sub, but I just don't think he'll be able to hold down Font like that to the point where he'll be able to get a dominant enough position to find a sub. Also, Font's just getting old. That's the bottom line. Font's getting old. And Hall Rosas, it just feels like he's due for a big win. He's been in the UFC for a few years now. He doesn't have that marquee win. I feel like this would be it. This is a big win for him. You get into the rankings and all that. Yeah, I mean, he's half his fucking age. It feels like a no-brainer to me just based on that. I'm talking myself into a lot of these fights, but I mean, these are some tough ones to pick. Hall Rosas by decision. I could see this one being boring. Hall Rosas isn't exactly exciting. And Rob Font's a bit slow these days. Hall Rosas by decision. That's my pick. Moving on. Ooh, baby. RDR versus Kaio. I know everybody's hating on this co-main, but I'm a big RDR glazer, okay? I picked RDR to beat Bo Nickel. I picked him to beat Whitaker. We don't talk about the Brendan Allen fight, but, I've been hyping up RDR for about 6 years. I remember when he was running through one, and I was completely just adamant that he'd be beating Adesanya one day. When Adesanya was the champion in the UFC. I always thought RDR could come in and beat Adesanya. I was that fucking guy that was acting like a fake little bitch hardcore. Like, yo, RDR, you guys should watch One Championship, bro. Like, I don't typically do that, but RDR he was very fun to watch. And here he is, and he's run through the UFC virtually, and he had his first bad loss, and people have completely switched up on him, cardio-wise. The thing is, people are picking Kaio in this fight, assuming that RDR is going to gas. Dude, this is a 3-rounder, and it's a completely different matchup from Brendan Allen. Like, Kaio is not as suffocating, and, he's not as much of a pressure fighter as people think in his performances. Like, who is he looking good against? He's looking good against... And I rate Kaio very highly. I actually thought Kaio had a solid shot against Imavov. I thought that a lot of people were discrediting him going into that fight. Of course, I was wrong. He lost that fight fairly badly, but he had his moments. But I don't know. Kaio seems to be best against fighters that are at their worst. Like... Jared Cannonier, I don't rate that win at all. I think Jared Cannonier sucks. I don't think he belongs in the rankings, and I don't think he's ever belonged in the rankings, if you want me to be honest. Paul Craig, that's a terrible win. Like, everybody KOs Paul Craig unless you're Bo Nickel, you know? I just, Kaio, he's not convincing enough. He's just not convincing enough for me to pick him over a guy like RDR, who I am an absolute glazer of and I'm going to be biased against, and I'm absolutely picking by decision. I think RDR, I think he's going to push him up against the fence. He's going to clinch up, kind of like the Bo Nickel fight. He's going to clinch up with him for the first few minutes, get a feel for how the grappling can go. He's going to fucking throw himself on the ground, maybe end up on bottom like he usually does. Maybe he'll lose the round. But I just see him, as the fight goes on, just the pressure, just more and more pressure, takedowns, he's going to look like a completely different fighter. I get the idea that, he gassed out bad, but I mean, the same people that are saying that RDR has a shit gas tank going into this fight now are the people that were saying that Hamzat had a shit gas tank going into the Dreykus fight. But I really do think RDR is just a good style matchup against Kaio. I think he's just going to pressure him. I understand this is a long-winded breakdown for me just saying RDR is going to decision him, but I think the pressure is going to break Kaio. It broke him against Imavov, and I think pressure from a grappling standpoint can also break Kaio. I'm picking RDR by decision. I think his cardio is going to be massively improved, and I think even though he might lose a round, he's just going to be too much for him later on in the fight. Moving on. Man. When I tell you that this is the most excited I've been for a fight in a long time, I really mean it. This is entertainment-wise. I don't give a fuck if it... Yo, man, I would rather watch Islam versus fucking Carlos Prates in this fight, man. Fuck you! No, you wouldn't. If you went 50 years in the future and you're like, okay, make the most exciting card of all time historically, all the fighters that have ever fought. Charles and Max is on that fucking card. Belt or not, this is one of the most exciting matchups in UFC history. I'm tired of acting like it isn't. This is a fucking war. This is a banger of all bangers. And I believe in Charles Oliveira. I believe in this motherfucker, man. I can't just ignore all the shit that he's went through in his career and just say Max is going to spark him out cold. Like, here's the thing. Yes, Max moved up to 55 and now he has incredible power. He's no longer Pillow Fist Max. I get it. And yes, Charles is but has recently just been knocked out worse than he's ever been knocked out in his career. Yes, but so is Max, and by the same person. This isn't like Fiziev just sparked Oliveira out cold. It's fucking Ilia Topuria. He's arguably the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He's one of the GOATs of the sport, almost. Like, it's not a bad loss. It's really not. And they both lost to him dramatically. Like, I'm tired of thinking that Charles is just going to get sparked out cold. And we know little to nothing about Max's defensive grappling. He's never really shown it at a full capacity. He really hasn't. I believe in Charles, man. I think he's going to get dropped in this fight. Like, if you ask me, I'd say abso-fucking-lutely he's getting dropped in this fight. And it's probably going to be a quick fight, too. I see this being, 1 round, 2 rounds max. Man, what a fight this is going to be. I see it starting out. They both go to the center of the cage, big show of respect. Max is going to go straight to his fucking... He's going to start jabbing his fucking face off. Charles has a guard where you can jab through that guard. Charles is hittable, for sure. And Max might hit him with a big 1-2 down the middle. Max has one of the best 1-2s in the sport. And Charles might get dropped. He might go down. But kind of like the Gaethje fight, he's going to pull guard. He's going to be fine. Max won't follow him down. And Charles is going to stand back up. 1:30, 2 minutes into the round, you're going to see Charles start flicking out that big front kick that he's got. That beautiful fucking teep. And he's going to start pressuring Max back. And maybe he gets caught a few more times. Maybe he gets dropped fucking 2-3 times in the first round. But I don't think he's getting knocked out cold, man. I don't think it's that fucking simple. People are acting like this is a simple pick. Like Max is just going to overwhelm him. It's not, I'm sorry. I believe in this motherfucker. I think Charles is he's going to weather through the storm. He's going to lose the first round probably, but he's going to end it on a good note. He'll start throwing out that front kick. He'll start pressuring Max against the fence. Maybe he even shoots a takedown. But he'll lose the first round. He'll go into the second just as confident as the last. They'll go straight to the middle again, and Charles is going to start... He's going to be right into his motions. He's going to be flicking out, you know, the big 1-2, that big right hook that Charles has. He's going to be switching stances, and Max is going to be doing well against it. But I think you're going to start to see, you know, within 5-10 minutes, Charles's style wears on Max. It's going to start pushing him against the fence. And Max is kind of not going to be in panic mode, but when Max is being pushed against the fence, that's where he's hittable. And that's where he got caught against Ilya. I wouldn't be surprised if Oliveira drops him, but it's obviously not what I'm expecting. I think he's going to push him up against the fence, you know, halfway into that second round, and he's going to do his big, you know, that blast fucking double, that weird takedown entry that he does. The one that he did against Gamrot, the one that he does against Poirier in their fight, the one that he's done many times throughout his career. He did it against Tony. He's got this weird, like, he kind of just walks into you and he'll lock you up from the waist, and then he'll pick you up and he'll slam you. I see him hitting Max with that, and then just climbing onto the back. Whether or not there's a couple minutes left in the round when he does that, I see him finding the sub. And if it doesn't happen, if he ends on the back, I see him going into the third and doing the same thing. I just don't know where this narrative comes from that Charles all of a sudden is just some chinnable but some chinnable, just top guy who's just waiting to have his moment where he finally gets put out for good. Like, he had a great bounce back against Gamrot, and he ate some shots. You know, he didn't get pieced up a lot in that fight, but Gamrot hit him with some big shots. And I'm not just saying Charles is gonna buzzsaw him. He's gonna have a fucking tough few rounds. Like, if Charles wins this fight, I see him losing a majority of the rounds, however long it goes. That's just how I think. But the pressure's gonna get to Max, and Charles is gonna fucking shine, man. Come on! I fucking believe in this guy. I really believe in him. I just have this feeling. I feel like he's gonna pressure Max, and he's gonna sub him. He's gonna rear naked choke him. Whether maybe he pulls guillotine, but I just see him subbing Max. Maybe he even drops him. He's gonna get dropped a few times himself, but man, it's Charles by sub, round 2. That is my pick. That fight is gonna be so fucking bonkers. I get goosebumps fucking thinking about it. I fucking love this fight so fucking much, man. I'm so fucking excited. I hope Charles pulls it off, man. Fuck. I can't fucking wait. UFC 326 this weekend. Check back when the picks are done, man. I hope I'm fucking right about this. I don't give a fuck if I go fucking 1-12. As long as I get the Charles fight right, man, I'll be completely fine. I'll be so happy. This has been Chinned. Those are my picks. Thanks for watching. Check back next week to see if I got these all right or see if I got them all wrong. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. See ya.